Okay, Libra, your weekly love tarot reading begins with a Five of Swords, an Ace of Pentacles, a Five of Pentacles, and a Three of Swords. Wow. Betrayal, loss. Your person for this love connection reading comes in with a Four of Cups, a Five of Cups, Ace of Swords, and a Three of Pentacles. All right, guys. Wow. Let's take a look at the bottom of the deck. Four of Pentacles is there, holding on to what you have, right? Trying to hold on to what you have and not losing any more ground is that energy there. But I'm going to come back to that bottom card right away. I'm looking ahead and I'm seeing, this is a painful, this is going to be a bit of a painful reading, right? There's betrayal here. There's loss here. Remorse, grieving, not answering a call of love. Let's get right into it. Libra, how do you and your person come in this week? Wow, Five of Swords energy. You feel like you've been defeated. There's a feeling here of shit. I think I went too far. Yeah, Libra, that's how it feels. It feels like, oh shit, I think I went too far. I think I played too many games. I think I just continued to argue a point, and at the end of the day, I may have won the battle, but I completely lost the war. I lost this person. That's a feeling that you're having right now, and more to do with the fact that you're realizing very, very acutely, right? Very distinctly how it's down to the fact that you've continued to act a certain way, behave a certain way, engage in a toxic way, argumentative way, that finally your person is resonating with Four of Cups energy. They're like, yeah, I'm good. They're not interested anymore. They're not interested at all. They're not giving you any attention. They may have even ghosted you. Some of you are dealing with somebody who's just ghosted you after a period of having dealt with a lot of toxicity here in this connection. You might want to check out the toxic love reading. I'm gonna have it in the corner with one of those little eyes in the corner, because you came up for the toxic love reading yesterday. Every Monday I read for 3 random signs, and this past Monday, yesterday, was Virgo, Libra, and Pisces. So yes, Libra, you very much were in the picture, okay? So take a look at that reading, but here we touch on the same kind of theme almost. You've gone too far and somebody is not there for it anymore. Four of Cups energy, they have completely disengaged from you. You know what I mean? So it seems as though almost as if, perhaps you guys have been on again, off again, and they still would continue to at least engage in some of the petty back and forth, the little games or the whatever, but they're done with that too. They're like completely done. Let's get some clarity here on that Five of Swords. Yes, Seven of Wands and Emperor energy. Okay, so for you, yeah, you're regretting, and now it feels as though like you're panicked. Now you're feeling like, oh shit, I have to fight for this. I think I lost somebody I really didn't want to lose. I think I got so caught up in playing these games and having these arguments and having the upper hand that at the end of the day, now I'm going to have to really be creative and dig deep and really fight for what I want. Emperor energy comes in for them. They're stoic about it. They're set. They're stoic, they're set. There's not really much. I'm going to say, listen, there's always, tarot is not an exact, it's not like this is what's going to happen. It's just impossible to do that with tarot, and anybody who tells you it's possible is lying to you. All right, so there's that. But we're just tapping into energies on a particular situation that some of you Libras are going through. And right now, the way as it stands, this person is immovable. Now, that's not to say that you can't put in the effort and the work, dig deep and get very creative. And of course, there's a possibility of you getting them back. But this really is the ball in your court. What will you do? Because they're happy where they're at with their decision. They're not moving on that. They're not moving on the decision as it stands now. And the decision is, in fact, to have completely disengaged. It's almost as if they didn't even say no. They're just not engaging. They're not even engaging with you enough to give you a decision. It's just done. The energy is done. The supply is done. Like I said, some of you, it's not even so much that they ghosted you. They just cut you off. Text messages, calls, encounters, talking about, they might not even look at you when they see you. How do you guys see each other? For you, you see them as an Ace of Pentacles, they see you, and they see Five of Cups. Yeah, you see them as Ace of Pentacles because right now they're living their best life. You know, they've made a certain decision and now they are kind of in a new stage. They're starting a whole new opportunity. And then you see this, you can see that they are resonating with that Ace of Pentacles in the sense that they are starting a whole new life, a whole new type of living, because of this, because they've resonated up and away from this toxicity here in this relationship. When they see you, Five of Cups, they can see that you're hurt. They can see, and you know what? If they're not in connection with you, as I said, you know, a minute ago, they may have just completely cut off contact. But when they think of you, they know that you're regretting it. They know that you're resonating with Five of Cups. They know that you regret what you've done because they know the value that they've brought to this relationship. Yeah, some of these readings are tough. Now, this might be vice versa, Libra. But some of these readings are tough, you know, the toxicity and the so-called guilt or whatever, blame. And I hate, there's never blame. There's blame on both sides. Always there's blame on this person. But, you know, the intensity or the source of the toxicity may not always be the other person. Sometimes it's you. And Libra, again, whatever it is you did, you went too far and you realize it now. And you see that, you know, as with anybody who comes out of a connection that wasn't healthy for them, they resonate up. And that's what your person is doing. And they know that you are regretting all of this. They know that you're regretting it because I think that you're probably dealing with somebody who's been warning you for quite some time that, look, you keep acting like this, I'm going to leave and you're going to regret it and you're going to lose the best thing you ever had. And it has exactly come to pass in that way for some of you. Let's get clarity. Seven of Swords and a Seven of Cups. So you both resonate with seven. This was a strong connection. This relationship was very, very strong. You guys were very deeply connected and really compatible, but for the fact that you continue to behave, you continue to bring some of your baggage. You brought baggage to this relationship in a form of toxicity that ultimately broke this relationship down. And I would say that most of that toxicity was just in the way that you communicated with them. You may have been very, very rough with them, maybe sometimes verbally abusive. And then, you'd say messed up stuff. And then later on, it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, or whatever, things like that. It was a very, in terms of the way you spoke, communication, the way you treated them, the way you acted around them was very, very aggressive, full of a lot of arguments, full of a lot of, things that were meant to bring them down, just acting out and projecting a lot of your own issues on them, despite the fact that you loved them and you wanted them, but you went too far. In an effort to always be right, in an effort to always have this dominance. You went too far. Now these sevens here, Seven of Swords, Seven of Cups, it's like Seven of Swords energy is futile. You continue to do things that are futile. You continue to act in ways that only sabotage yourself. You continue to sort of, even now that you realize that you're going to have to fight for this person if you want them back, you continue to do it in a way that fails because you're just not being authentic and you're not dealing with those issues that you were bringing to the relationship and projecting on the relationship to begin with. So Seven of Swords energy comes in for you. More futility. For them, Seven of Cups. They really realized that this relationship for them was an illusion. And again, this really speaks back to the connection itself. Yes, you guys were very, very connected, but I think through the experience of being in a relationship with you, Libra, they realized that it was never going to be what they expected it to be. It was never going to amount to the dreams and goals that they had, right? Because it just, even though you guys got along well and the connection was deep and there was love there, and maybe even still is some love there because of how deep the connection was, just this stark realization for your person that it wasn't so much that you lost an opportunity here. This opportunity was never going to happen. This was not an opportunity because you, Libra, what you brought to the table was a lot of issues and baggage, and you hadn't done the shadow work you needed to do on yourself to make this viable. So it was never going to work with you in the state that you're in now. How do you see your roles in a relationship? Well, here we go. Five of Pentacles. You're at a loss. You're at rock bottom now. You've lost them. And it almost feels as though, you've just, you're lost. More five energy, more difficult energy to deal with. Saturn energy. Ace of Swords for them. They have, clarity, self-esteem, awareness, waking up. They see themselves. As far as this relationship with you is concerned, they see this relationship as having been a lesson for them. I'm going to be honest. That's how they see it. They see it as a lesson for them, as something that, they've learned out of this connection with you. They've learned about themselves. They've learned about what to put up with, what not to put up with. They've just had, this has been a learning process for them because of the fact that over here they've made that decision to finally be done with it. Be done with the toxicity, be done with all of the pain. And that decision for self-preservation, that leads to their kind of breakthrough where they realize, where they ultimately really heal from this connection. And they're like, look, yeah, I learned something here. I'm not even walking away, bitter. I'm not walking away with bitterness. That's what happens when you fully kind of integrate the lessons of a toxic relationship. And that's what your person has done. And you're the one who's kind of really left out in the cold. You're completely left out in the cold because you're just so unequipped with dealing with the deep issues. You're just either unequipped or unwilling at this point, Libra, to deal with all of these deep issues that you need to deal with, that you brought to the table. And even though you hit rock bottom in a sense that you've lost this connection well and truly, I'm not entirely sure that you've learned your lesson. Seven of Pentacles comes in, more seven energy, and Eight of Pentacles comes in over that three. Yeah, for them, they're working. So as this epiphany comes in for them, they just get to work on perfecting themselves. You've lost a gem here, Libra. You've lost somebody that was a gem. And not only that, they're even more of a gem because now that they've come out of this, rather than wallowing in pity or self-pity or, just letting themselves go and be depressed, as difficult as this was, this connection, because you guys definitely had deep feelings for each other, as difficult as this was, they have taken the route of, I'm going to learn something here. I'm going to better myself. I'm going to rise above this. I'm going to be better. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're putting so much effort and work into it that they're really shining. I mean, the rewards are showing right away. Physically, financially, as far as their mind and body connection is going on, Libra, everything about them is resonating up. And it only increases. Three of Pentacles is their possible outcome here. It just only increases. For you, you're having to completely reevaluate. Now that you've finally hit rock bottom with this relationship, in as much as really understanding that it's done and it's over, I think you begin to sort of like cut your losses and just take what you can you kind of walk away. I think you walk away with the intent of like, all right, maybe I'll take this one gem here, this one little something that I've built, whatever little I can take with me, and maybe I'll go plant a seed somewhere else and try again. Or, it's a real kind of like, I don't know. Libra, this is all about you. You need to, seize this energy. It can go either way. You can decide to go ahead and work on it, reevaluate everything that you've done so far and really work on improving, or just kind of like not learn your lesson, take what you can and just kind of, walk away. Take what physical attributes here that you've gained and just walk away with your things, and that's it. if you choose to not learn your lesson and if you choose to not properly evaluate everything that's happened, you're bound for another heartache here. Three of Swords is coming in for you. There is possibly even more heartache coming in here for you, especially as this person moves on. I don't think you're entirely done with them. I don't think your emotions are entirely done with them, you know? So, all right, let's go ahead and pull your oracles, Libra. It's tough reading. What can I say? 2 oracles are flipped over. We're going to take that. Receptivity, reflection, and expression. So reflection is the strongest here. Are you going to be able to reflect on what's happened here and do what you need to do to sort of fix these issues? And then also, are you being receptive enough? Expression is also there for you. Receptivity and expression. Yeah. You know, are you receptive to the fact that, you know, there needs to be work here? There needs to be work within you, regardless of if there's ever going to be a chance with this connection again. If you ever want to have a chance with a strong connection, or if you don't want to sabotage yourself again. This is the thing. This relationship was strong and connected. You sabotaged it. You're the one who sabotaged it. And you know full well you did, Libra. You know full well you did, right? Like, this is not a surprise. You know you did. I think it's just shocking when it finally comes in that this person is done. You know, this may have been a very long-term relationship that has gone on like this for such a long time that you kind of took it for granted that it would always be this way. And you're realizing now that it's not, because your person has truly decided that no. Buffalo and a butterfly, earth and air coming in as your animal spirits. Buffalo realize, you know, the buffalo understands that its actions, its physical actions begin in the spiritual. The buffalo is extremely wise, but very earthy animal spirit that understands, you know, it's wisdom that the buffalo knows, because the buffalo understands the connection between how we act, what we do, the things this physical world, this tactile physical world, and how we behave in it, and the divine, and how it's a highway, you know, it's a back and forth highway, and it affects. And you're learning that now. You're learning how deeply affected your emotional, spiritual world can be by your actions. Butterfly, transformative. The butterfly reminds us that we need good, positive friends around us, air energy, when we're going through a transformation. You know, the transformation into a butterfly is painful. It's painful and it's lonely. Yes, the butterfly is beautiful, but there's a lot of anguish and pain and with this air energy that goes into a transformation for you to emerge like that. And so you have to be mindful of that. Take care to also lean into support from true friends, genuine friends, friends who want to see you succeed and do well, and want to see you doing that shadow work that's going to ultimately get you to that place. 2 more oracle cards from my Oracle of the Divine Oracle of the Radiant Sun. A lot of words there. Just to see what astrological energies are going on here. Yeah, Libra, tough lesson here. You know, tough lesson. We have drama and companionship. So drama and companionship. Oh, and the third one wanted to come out, vision. So let's take that. Drama is Mercury and Leo energy. Okay, Mercury and Leo energy, drama. Then we had companionship, and we had vision that wanted to jump out. Vision is Sun in Pisces and Moon in Libra. Okay, Moon in Libra, companionship, Sun in Pisces. Wow. Yeah, a vision, you know, understanding the vision for your life. And listen, if you want that 4 of Pentacles at the bottom, yeah, really very much a feeling of taking what you can from this and moving and just holding on to what security is left, holding on to what is left. You walk away with what you can, but do you learn your lesson? Because I think this is a real shock for you. I don't think you ever believed that this person would finally cut ties with you. And yes, they have. I think you never really believed that. And it's a wake-up call. Let's see what you do with it. Libra, this is your reading. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Bow and Arrow Tarot. Libra Cross Watchers, if you got anything out of this reading, if it resonated for you, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. Perhaps you want to share it with the other people in your life. Claim this reading, you know, if you resonate with it, and claim the choice to do that hard work and that shadow work. There is a chance. There's always a chance to get somebody you truly love back in your life after having lost them. But the work is really on you to do. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I hope to see you guys all here next week, next Tuesday, for your weekly love tarot reading. But for right now, I wish you all love, life, and happiness. Bye-bye now.